Okay, I've removed all these rest of the screws for this cover plate here, and you will see that two of them are the same size, a little shorter. One of them was much longer. Now, I don't know if you watched the other videos, and I mentioned when I used to take these apart, I took pictures of everything. Now I know from experience that this longer screw goes at the bottom. But this would be a time, if you're not familiar, that when you took this out and you saw that they're different, you could hold the short one up by here, take a picture, hold the long one down by here, so that you knew the longer one went in this place. The shorter one, the one with no threads, goes up there. I'm going to bag this. I'm going to find my little 99-cent magnet and look for that clamping washer to see where did that go. It should have been right around here. I probably loosened that with the, you know, I saw it there before. I probably loosened that messing around with this light fixture. So I don't see, it might have be stuck to the back of the light fixture. I didn't see anything fall out yet, so I'll keep an eye out for that. I can take one from my parts machine. Oh, here it is right here. It fell out and I didn't even see it. So you see it's a rectangle piece of metal. It's bowed, so the two end parts go on the inside against to hold it, and maybe you can see there's little points and stuff on there, and I can see from looking at it that two of the points are bent a little bit, and that's why it came off so easy. So I can take needle nose when I go to put it back on and flatten those out, shape them up gently, and it will hold that screw pin in there just fine in the future. I'm not sure why they did that, why they just didn't put a little nut back there, but this is probably cheaper, so that's why, a little clamping spring, I guess. So I'll put that in the bag. Now I've got the screws out here. To get this plate off, usually want to move the levers towards the center. Even the bobbin winder, boy, that thing is still, you want to move it away from the edges a little bit. And this you can take off, which I normally would. I didn't show you how to do that, but there is kind of a cutout space here that will fit through sometimes. So just kind of center it up there, and you can gently get a fingernail behind this or the little screwdriver and start gently working it off. You might be able to see how that comes down, but this one especially, left, center, right, there's always little notches to hold it in place. So you want to kind of move that down to take pressure off. And now I've got most of it off here. Yippee! And then if I maneuver it around the knob here, it's going to come off. So that's how that looks. And you can clean this up with dish soap and water. I just spray it with the crud cutter while I'm doing everything else, and it just gets all the old gunk and grime right off of there. Again, this machine is not bad at all compared to some that I have done that have been over maintained. There's still plenty of black dusty grease and stuff, and you know, I live in Arizona. I don't know the history of this machine, but you could dust here every day in Arizona, trying to keep your furniture and blinds and stuff clean. So anyway, we've got that open. We can see more of the mechanisms. this would give you access too if you had to replace a broken or missing lever. Well, I've got this here. I'm going to go ahead and take off this little access plate because it's famous last words. There we go. It's fairly easy to take off. Again, what I found is when you go to take off these screws that have been here half a century, you want to put good pressure towards the screw. If you just put medium pressure and turn hard, you're going to strip the screw out. And I think I mentioned before, these screws are all proprietary. You can't damage a screw and go down to Ace Hardware or Home Depot or some, your local hardware store and say, hey, I need one of these. Because the thread spacing and stuff is all different than what I've ever been able to find. And I've gone to a lot of places with a few screws and just can't do it. And then they'll ask me, where's this from? And I'll tell them a Singer Sewing. Ah, no wonder. Yeah, no, we don't got that. Nobody has that, So that's why I always push hard towards the screw to be sure I'm in there, and then slowly there. You might have heard that little snick as it breaks free. If they're really stuck, that's where you try your penetrating oil and heating it with the hair dryer and letting it cool down and tapping on it with something plastic or rubber. I've had a lot of success with the smaller screws. And I've had some success with these big screws and big end bolts with that. But I know from experience, I'm probably going to damage something up here before I got that thing loose, so I'm just not willing to take the risk. I'll work around it. I'm going to go ahead and take this little access cover off, or it'll take itself off. Now you can see there's access to set screws for this whole cam stack and the little cam on there, and this lever, access to cleaning. So let me bag this up with my front bag, and I'll put this in my shoebox to keep it out of harm's way. So now I've got pretty good access to this, but I still want some more slack. So as I go over this way, there is a clamp that's part of this screw system right here. When this screws in through the machine and through the wire clamp, it helps pinch this wire against the side to keep it away from the moving stuff. And I usually take this off to help give me access to cleaning stuff in there. So since we've come this far, let me go ahead and show you. We've got two screws here. So push hard, turn moderate. That one just came right off. It's probably had some oil leak onto it over the years. So let's see if this one will come off so easy. And yep, that's going to come right off. So before I go too far with this, let's take this. This is the stitch length and reverse knob, and let's take these little parts off. Let me get a separate bag for those. They have some. There we go. So this part is just lefty-loosey. And it's a quite ingenious mechanism in here, very simple. It's got the retaining screw and a cute little bright metal washer. They're grungy. The crud cutter will clean them right up. And then this nut or screw actually loosens by going right. So instead of lefty-loosey, we're going to turn it to the right, and it's going to unthread and eventually come out like so. So it's kind of a barrel. It is chromed. It's got muck in it, but it cleans up real pretty. Let's get that out. Now in here, I don't know what they call this piece, but it's steel, and it slides in a slot in here, much like this has a slot. But it's the kind of the stop tab on that cover. When you tighten it, it won't go down anymore. It'll go up to reverse, but not down. And this end has little threads. These are in great shape. I don't think this has ever been off, that hold that barrel. So we'll take that off. We'll put it in our stitch length. Did I call that tension before? We'll put it in our stitch length lever stuff. Then I want to go ahead and take this guiding holding bracket off, which is a couple of screws, and it'll come right off. Gives me more access. I can even go in there to a screw and take this bar out if I want to. Or in the service manual, they show you a way to go in here and remove a bunch of parts and take the whole sliding mechanism out. And I did that once, and to me it just wasn't worth it. I can clean and oil that and everything like that without doing that. So after I did it and put it back together, I said I'll never do that again. It just wasn't worth it. I've taken this lever out a number of times. I've had a couple that were bent, and I had to, search all over and find the part. And I think what I actually did was a local thrift shop that helps animals, helps animal adoption and animal care and stuff, is just a couple blocks down the road from me. And one time I found a Singer machine in there that looks like somebody had shot it with a pistol or a rifle. So they just had it sitting to the side, and I said, "Are you going to sell this?" And they said, "Well, if you'll give us $10, we'll sell it." And I mean, it had the motor in there, which buying a used motor on eBay is $15 to $25. So I said, okay. And I've gotten a lot of little screws and parts and stuff off of that machine. I'll tell you, it's paid for itself many times over. I'll leave this in here for now, but since I took that off, the little clamp that goes inside would have fallen down. I got busy talking and I forgot to hold on to that with my fingertips. So it's gone. Let's see if it fell through to the bottom. There it is. There's a little nut and a clamp. Goes behind this and helps to hold that cord to the side. So I'll put that in here with my other stitch length parts. That's about it. When you got this open, if you need to clean or adjust the bobbin winder, your guide will tell you there's a screw here. You can take it out and wiggle it out. I'm pretty sure you can't get this out with the cover plate being on. I'm not sure if I need to remove that now. Now that I'm inside here, usually I just replace the rubber tire automatically. But look at that cute blue. I don't know why they bothered to make it blue, because you can't see it inside, but it is very, very soft and supple. I don't think I'm going to have to replace that. So it might be nice to leave the original blue one on there. Yeah, we'll see. But back to our light fixture deal now. How can I get some? There we go. There we go. Let's see if we can see that switch. over there that I pushed in. There's the switch, and here's the motor. So that gave me some more slack here. Is there something up here? Oh, look, there's a cute little rubber washer that you, yep, there's the muck. That's why I take these all apart a lot of times. See if I can, how's that slide out? It slides out towards me. See if I can slide that out and just get a little more slack on the cord. Yep. Slide out, yeah, it's supposed to slide out sideways. Oh, yeah, I think that's going. So I'm using this to push on the cord in the back and my thumb in the front and pop out there. There we go. So there's the little, this usually slides on and off when you've got the wire loose. So now I've got a lot more slack for the light up here, which was my plan. And I've got some slack here from the plug. You remember I took the screw and pushed it in. So now I'm going to think about taking out this motor. And look down here and if I can see. Yeah, I probably ought to look at the guide, but I will show you